It is now sometime on Sunday. Let's get this text up here and say, hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another game development stream. Today we are going to be working on my game here, Skinny Man, once again. Now I will just say the stream is a bit late because I had a bloody nose, real bad one, right before the stream. So yeah, I gonna have to deal with that. I also apparently have to deal with Discord as I forgot to set that up properly. That's not the right thing. There it is. Alright, Discord's dealt with. Alright. Anyhow, oh yeah, also, hello, I'm here. God damn it, stupid green screen. I can't find a good space for it today. Of all things. Oh well, doesn't matter too much. We're not doing anything too important today. Anyhow, today with the game, let's just end this here. We're going to be once again working on the entities as the title would suggest, but I've decided that entity on entity collision is, yeah, not very important to this next update. I'm kicking that to a later update because I can't figure out why they are just able to be glitched through platforms when they're pushing that on each other. It doesn't happen when they're going horizontally, only vertically, so no clue as to what is going on there. Anyhow, there are a million other things, though, that we do have to do for entities in order to actually get them to work properly with the game, so I guess we'll start by doing that. So, oh wait, actually I guess I should probably go and show off how the entities currently exist in the game. Display. Turn full screen mode off. That way it's less painful, I guess, for me. So you just have a window here. Ooh, I can move it around. Anyhow, also, I'm doing the level creator, so yeah, definitely want to be windowed for this. I also have to do all this stuff for entities in 3D, so it's also that I kind of have to get doing. Anyhow, let's show off for now what the entities are about. Spawn one in for now. I also don't remember if this was exactly a thing in the last stream, but I added visual indicators on the entities to show what inputs it's trying to send right now. And yeah, this is currently what it does. It interacts with other stuff. If there's multiple entities and they get on top of each other, obviously the things get glitchy. I'm just going to turn off entity colliding with entity anything for now, and nothing like that will ship in the next update. But yeah. But this is all the entity is, and notably there's a few issues. You can... that just spawned another entity. Well, there's an issue. Apparently I can't deselect entities. I didn't notice that. But yeah, I'm trying to delete one right now, and it just spawns another one. So yeah, that's not good. Also, they never die. That's the thing, and they don't really get saved or respawn anywhere as well. So all that stuff is what we have to do today. So to start with, then, I don't think I've done this quite yet, but I'm gonna need, I have this entity registry. I'm gonna need to change how that works because yeah, sorry about that. Because yeah, I need to change the structure to maybe get so that stages are a little bit more consistent and don't require me to do everything perfectly every time I add a new entity. So I'm gonna create a new class. Call it stage entity. It's going to be abstract. Extends entity. Alright. And this is going to require the implementation of a lot of the things that stages require. So these are all the things that the entity requires to have implemented, and that's fine. But this here, the factory method, I might end up removing this because yeah, because this is going to be a thing with stage entities. So first of all, there's going to have to be stage entity. So first thing, the most important thing is we're going to need to have a new. Yeah, I might remove this because we'll keep that, but we'll add a new one. Where is it? I'm blank. There it is. All right. So we'll have abstract JSON object that bees so that's the first thing that stage entities will have to be able to do. They'll have to be saved, obviously, and so save and all right. This is actually going to be sorry about this commentation. Anyhow. So these are I think there's gonna have to be more that's gonna be required, and I'll think of those and add them as we go. But these are the two most basic ones: the requirements for a general save and load method. Basically, yeah. So I will then change this entity registry from entity to stage entity, and then I will go find my simple entity and change this to being a stage entity, which means it will now have to implement a proper save and load function method, whatever. Where do I have these things right now? Currently there's going to be create somewhere. Yeah. So now we have a public stage entity create. And public. That is not how it's done. Or not load, save. What am I thinking? Neither of these are gonna function properly here. Create. Is that not? CREATE. Thank you. Okay. No idea what's going on there. Anyhow. There's a bunch of stuff this has to do. So we're also going to need to have a bunch of things. Just trying to think of what's going on here. So they're gonna have to have all the data that needs to be saved and loaded. We need to save where it's spawning and where it's despawning. Or no. We have to save its spawn location. And that's it? Maybe? Well, obviously it's type. So JSON object. I think that's how I created JSON object. I do not remember. It has been a hot second since I've had to do this. So we got output is that. My mind's blanking what oh yeah. So output dot set string type to be Is there a no, there isn't. Anyhow, so simple entity. That is how we'll do that. All right. Pardon me here. Goddamn. I think okay, I'm gonna turn my camera off here. The blood knows maybe it's coming back. Hopefully it's not. Anyhow, so after we get the type, we're also gonna have to save the X and Y position, and I think that's it for now. Or X, Y, Z even. And these are their initial X, and Y, and Z positions, which I'm realizing are not being stored yet. Anywhere. We got the movement manager. Wait, do we have okay, here's where. Flow XYZ float float spawn X spawn Y spawn Z. There we go. Alright. I'm being slow today for some reason. Set float X spawn X, and then we'll just repeat this for Y and Z. Spawn Y spawn Z. All right, and then return output. Input. Right, this is going to be effectively loading it, which we'll call this. Now we don't have to deal with type, as that's static, and also that's oh sorry, that's used actually elsewhere in the loading process. So, well, okay, let's get spawn X, spawn Y, spawn Z in here. Oh, I thought of another stage thing. Okay, I thought of a couple things that we're gonna need to add to the stage entity. All right. So, actually, return a new simple entity from input.get float X, input.get float Y, and input.get float of Z. Also, just as a side note here, just remembering and thinking about my GPU problems again, Intel has yet to reach out to me. And oh, hey, processing, thanks for finally showing up with this. The fuck? What is this bottom thing here? Which is case insensitive order. I have no clue what that is. Anyhow, that's the factory method. And that should work fine. That's saving and loading, which will be used by the stage, which... Okay, it's still complaining. Yeah, it's okay. Just going through a bunch of classes here, don't mind me. Stage entity, here it is. I'm gonna make these public here quickly. Just in case that's what it's complaining about. Too far, too far. Sound handler, simple entity. Huh? Why? What's it complaining about? It is implementing it. I'm now so confused. What is going on? I will go copy the method signature exactly. And just remove the word abstract. Because I have no idea why it's not working. Yeah, it is inside of here. Okay. No. Move that keyword there. Oop. Is it still complaining? Why is it still complaining? It is... I'm so confused. Why is it... I copied the method signature exactly. Why is it complaining? I'm so confused. Maybe does it want me to... Oh, that's why. Wait, what? Hang on. When I take this away, it all of a sudden gives me an error here. JSON object does not exist. Oh! Well, it's an import issue. Yep. PROCESSING. That's the issue. JSON object couldn't be found because it didn't have the proper imports for that. Nope, that's not the issue. I take it for granted that processing properly manages imports. Hang on, there's other errors here. They're not appearing as underlined. They're just appearing on the side here. What the hell? Anyhow, I think I know what the issue is. Probably, stage entity. There also needs to be the imports here. Where was I? Simple entity. There it is. Okay, we good now? No? I mean, doesn't have those errors anymore. Wait, hover over these errors? Class JSON object does not exist. What? I've imported the processing shit. What do you mean JSON object doesn't exist? Oop. Sorry about that. So, here's what I'm gonna do. Gonna come here to a guest Chrome browser. I'm gonna go. By the way, if you want to ever do true incognito browsing, you need a guest profile on your browser, not an incognito window, but a guest profile that everything gets deleted. It doesn't even show your bookmarks, because that's for some reason a thing on incognito browsers. Anyhow, gonna go to the GitHub page, which PROC 4, which will actually redirect us to this page. Processing core. Maybe it's not. It's in processing data? It is. Okay. This is one that I usually don't have to import to things. But I don't know how this is the first time that I'm having to import this shit. So let's see. Why can I never find this? Simple entity. There it is. Okay. It is not complaining about that anymore. OBE. Whew. JECT. There we go. I was wondering why that wasn't getting highlighted. Alright. Okay, good. Finally got those errors out of the way. Dang. Alright. Alright, so this now theoretically can be saved and loaded. What I was going to now do is go over to level, or stage even. Which is right here. Switch this from an array of entities to an array of stage entities. Hence, the stage part of it. And then, let's see, the entity registry, which is an array list. Don't I want this to be a hash map? I think I do want it to be a hash map, because that way, yeah, if I have entity registry being a hash map, I can then just use a little bit of I/O. Where am I actually loading up this? Am I doing anything with this right now? Hold on. Yeah, I am. Okay. Just adding that. I don't think entity has a get type on it, though. I don't know how I was expecting that to work. You know what? We're going to switch this from being an array to being a hash map. That way we can just do stuff a little bit simpler, actually, when it comes to the actual level side of things. So, hash map of string stage entity, new hash map. All right, and then up here, where, give me there's. Now we're going to be put that's valid syntax. What was the type I set for this thing? Simple space entity. So this way, loading is actually going to be really easy on the level side of things. So we go over to level, or stage even. On here, what we're going to do because, okay, currently, when loading, there is this gigantic if-else effectively tree. I'm not even using else, I'm just doing a bunch of ifs. Where it parses all the different things. And we're going to do this very simple for the last one here. So, if... I'm going to make these all else ifs because... yeah, shortcutting all this is going to be way better if these are all else ifs. Because if it hits one of these, I don't want it to go down and try to get data out of the entity hash map. So it's all in the name of doing else. So we have stage entity int, which is going to be equal to, do I have a source reference in here? Yes, I do. Source dot entity registry dot get o type. If ent is not equal to null, then we can go entities dot add ent dot create ob, because that's the JSON object in here, I guess. Right? Yes, that is the JSON object for this specific thing. All right, this here, I'm actually going to put some comments here. Woo, I'm doing commenting code, people. Look at me, I'm commenting my code. Load, or if the current thing is an entity, load it. Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why all of this else exists is because everything has a unique constructor that I have to individually call here because they didn't do factory method stuff. And sometimes they have different parameters. I mean, they're basically all identical at this point, but sometimes they've had different parameters in the past. At this point, I think it would be mostly safe to just do this in a registering fashion, same way to here. But yeah, this should be all that we need to now do actually loading of entities. Of course, now I actually have to be able to do saving of entities. Oh, I guess, and then I'm going to have to figure out deleting of entities too. It's a bunch of stuff I'm going to need to do. Let's see. Save. This returns... no, this returns the name of the file, right? So... so for int I equals the size of that, or no, I equals 0, I is less than entities dot length, or no, size even, it's an array list. Okay, and then we just set JSON object to oh, it is, wait, is it length? No, I think it's size. I'm actually not entirely sure. I'll go look at processing's reference in a moment. Entities dot get I dot save. All right, that should be all that I need to do. I will now go look at the reference to find out what it is. Should be under data here. Yep, JSON array. Oh. Well, there's a simpler method to do this that I'm just now finding out about. Let's see. Almost 4 years into developing this game. Wait, I think, hold up. Let me go back to the reference here. Boop. Let me just make sure I have this. Just make sure I have this right. Wait. What's the... Okay, so the syntax is this is actually a little bit weird. JSON append value. Oh, okay, these are the things for values, because you can somehow append booleans to these things? String value and int value float to JSON array JSON object. JSON object to JSON array boolean. What? Hold up, what? I might need to visit the actual Java docs. You know, I'll visit the actual code itself. Well, once again, I'm just going to do this off screen. Here, let's see, core, source, hello, okay, processing, data, JSON array, and we'll go to the symbols, find, okay, function append, string value, int value, long value, float value, double value, boolean value, so that's been commented out, and so is that one. JSON array value. Okay, yeah, just put in the JSON object there. Man, why is that so confusing there? Okay, so yeah, no, I just use dot append. That is infinitely easier than at what I've been doing, where I've had to be manually setting the indexes of stuff because I didn't know append was a thing. Damn. This one's probably fine, but the rest of these are just... Oh my god. Anyhow, that should be a lot more better now. So, yeah, that should be saving and loading of entities now valid and done. So I guess we test it now. Or we try to... Oh, god damn it. I have so much stuff I need to do in here. Alright, let's test saving and loading an entity. So, step one, I guess, is spawn an entity in the level creator. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera off again here. Sorry about that. Let's see. Go down to entities 2D. Then I'll move the camera over here. Same time we move the player over here. Then gonna spawn an entity right there in the middle of the arrow. Alright. We got ourselves an entity. We'll unpause for a hot second here as it moves around. Alright, so stop it there just to make sure this works correctly. And then we'll press the save button. Cool. Now we need to leave and load the level. So we leave. Go back to the level creator. Go back here. And see. Yay, it worked! Saving and loading works. Woo! Now about deleting. Actually, something that I want to do, but I don't think I'm going to quite be able to enforce this, is I want to somehow put a hologram when you're in the level creator of where it's going to be respawning, but I don't think I can technically enforce that. in any way on myself. So I'm just gonna not. And yeah. We're gonna instead move on. Let's see, what are we doing next? Right, it's 3D. Because I haven't actually figured out how we're doing anything in 3D yet. And actually I need to do 3D physics stuff. I need to copy basically a large a large chunk of the 2D entity physics over to 3D. Because I do not remember if I actually did that properly yet. Well, that was always something I was like, okay, we'll get it working in 2D, then we'll bring it into 3D. And then I never did. So that's too far up. Let's see, player physics, entity physics, here we go. So we got, let's see if all the way down in 3D land. Okay. Alright, it is mostly here. Good. I think it's just the stuff where it comes to doing gravity and all that ground detection rectification stuff. This stuff, which was my attempt to fix the problem that I'm having with entities glitching through each other, but it just didn't work at all. Now let me see what the 3D version of this has currently. Yeah, it has, most of the things look proper. Actually, hold on. Let me go back to simple entity quickly. And we're gonna false to colliding with other entities. Sorry, but we just kind of got to shove that aside for now. Now, here's gravity, and sorry, just taking a minute to look here. Turn this back on. Alright, yeah, I guess I'll just copy what I have for this entire section in 2D, comment it out, and then paste that in for 3D, or then make the necessary 3D modifications. And of course, jumping, I don't think anything's changed with that, as that's mostly velocity-based stuff. Although, to be fair, I do probably have to do some updates there, but to be clear, I haven't yet actually messed with that. Alright. This check here is gotten rid of entirely. Yes, we just leave that alone. And then there's this whole section here, which I will just leave commented out from now as entity on entities. Just leave that here for entity on entity collisions, and we'll just leave that there now. So I don't think I have a way to spawn an entity in 3D mode. But we'll see. Let's see, go to the test level. I'll look in here to start with. I'm not gonna save anything. Haven't touched this controlling in a while. Yeah, I don't necessarily have, oh, hold up. If I, oh, just move the camera here. Okay, I can spawn an entity there. And 3D. This is what the entity looks like in 3D. And this is how, whoa, okay, hang on. Leave this here. And this is how it's gonna just fall off the edge. I don't currently have a way to get that back. So perhaps I should have thought about that a little bit first. Hold on, let's Here, let's quickly do a little bit of building here. I'm not saving any of this because I don't want it to continuously exist forever. Alright, do that. Bam, we got a platform, baby. Let's go. Now let's put some walls in. This is a very black platform. I realize that probably wasn't a smart idea, per se, to make an entirely black platform. I also haven't had grid mode on until now. That's probably also less of a smart thing, but whatever. This will be completely useless in 2D mode. Oh well, oh well, oh well. We are not going to keep this around for very long, so that does not matter. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, I have to, after this, I'll have to check around, make sure that we have stuff for entity, or we'll have to put stuff into the stage entity thing for whether or not the entity is dead, because if the entity is dead, we're obviously going to have to do something a bit different with it. Or we're just probably going to not render or physics a dead entity. That makes sense to me. I hope that actually does make sense. That we're going to try to not do that. So I'm going to have to add in some logic for that on the side of the entity themselves. Can't use that. That's fine. That's fine. Whoop. All right. I can't think of too much to talk about in relation to this right now. So, I need to actually add a way for myself to get up there, because the camera will be locked to the player once we get this going. But yeah, anyhow, I can talk about something else right now. So, yesterday I did a thing that I completely forgot that I was going to do until yesterday when I remembered. Oh yeah, that's today. So the one club that I'm a part of here at school held, or technically hosted, although I wasn't involved in the actual hosting part, a programming competition, and of course I went to compete in it, obviously, and okay, there's the camera. I wasn't in. Why does this feel so bad with the frame rate? It isn't. The frame rate is fine, actually. Hold up. I will need to go back and adjust settings in a moment to actually set the it so we can run the game at a decent rate. Oh, I'm not going to be able to see a particularly large amount of what's going on here. Okay, this is going to be fine. All right, and in 2D, we spawn a singular entity here. Back to the fucking hell. All right. Gonna please wait as I quickly build a thing here. I'm gonna make it so it doesn't have collision in 2D. Build a thing for the spawned in entity to sit on here. There we go. But yeah, anyhow, so I mean, in this programming competition, I didn't, or at least the team I was on didn't, do the best, but I wasn't too much expecting that. What really got me, and I kind of got annoyed about, was the fact that I wasn't able to actually finish the solution to the problem that I was working on within the time limit provided, and it annoyed me because it felt like it was so damn close. It's just like, oh man, we almost had it. Turns out, I went home, did some more stuff on it, and realized, oh yeah, no, we really did not almost have it. There was a bunch of issues, but we were on to, we had a really good idea of what or our solution was going to be really good had it worked out. Fortunately, it didn't exactly work out there. So I spent a chunk of today just completely rewriting the entire thing from scratch so that it actually worked properly and as intended. And I like the results that I got out of it. It basically basically produced what was, in my opinion, almost what would have been the optimal solution to the problem with stuff provided. Now, I did have some issues along the way. All right. Okay, back to this quickly. Play. Why did it not collide with that? That's concerning. It's also glitching out a little bit. It's solid. Why did it go through? Why did it actually go all the way through that? And why is that bugging out? Hold up. Let me deselect that tool so that stops bugging out there a little bit. But yeah, why did it just go through that? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, we'll pause time. Back into 2D mode. Spawn another box in there. Or another entity there. Crap, I think they're a bit too low. Actually, they're just not moving. I've unpaused time. Let's select this quickly. Huh. Something's going on with this stuff. Oh. And, yeah, look, time is up. Whoa, why does this feel so sluggish? I don't know why stuff's glitching out. But yeah, that thing's just straight up not moving at all. If I quickly go to 2D. Oh, I think I might know what's going on. Partially. I didn't have them calculate their physics shit. Well, no, I don't know why I went through the wall particularly. That's confusing. But simple entity. I didn't have it do its I didn't have it do this in 3D, so it wasn't recalculating what its physics should be. But why did it go through the wall? Level collisions. It should have hit that wall just fine, considering it was standing on top of other stuff. Also, none of that's there, because obviously it didn't save. I do just want to quickly stop by settings, because apparently I had my settings reset last time. I want to turn the debug information on there, so that, here we go. Alright, back to the level creator. Got a million other things I need to do for entities. Okay, we'll go back here. We'll go into 3D. This time, I'm not going to be dumb with how I build this thing, because I will turn grid mode on quickly. I will expand its size so that it actually will go beyond z equals 0 here. Alright, and then so that way I don't have to spawn it in a strange room above. And then I'll continue using normal solid ground stuff for the rest of this. Alright. Okay, just build these walls out to be reasonably sized, and then I gotta put the player on top of them again. We'll admit, could do with some hotkeys here in the level creator, but I wanted Tyler to do that because he wants to, I don't know, do stuff, but then he's never really been, like, anytime I feel like I'm willing to do stuff, he just isn't. So, oh, hello there. We have a chatter. Haven't had. It's been years since the last time I've seen anyone around these parts. Although, I mean, it hasn't been that long, but it has been a while since I've seen a chat message. So hello and welcome to the stream. I'm currently building a I'm building a little test chamber here to test out the 3D movement and collision of an entity. Actually, once I get this thing built up, I'm gonna save the level before I actually spawn any entities in. That way I can come back to this thing already built up. All right, and then I need I'll need stuff to step on in order to actually get up to the rim so I can watch this stuff playing out. Alright, there's one, and I'm probably going to need another step there. Let's put that there. Resize this to be consistency there. Alright, well actually no, this should be a bit shorter like that. Alright, so now if I click play, yeah, I'm able to just jump up there here anyway. Oh well. Okay, we'll pause it, go out of 3D mode, spawn a singular entity, go back to 3D mode, and press play. What the heck? What? What? What was it jumping on? How was it jumping on? Okay. Maybe I spawn one. Oh, well, right. Physics automatically puts it up there. Is it still doing its physics with the 2D? I am very confused. Very, very confused. Like, with the player here, which should be calculating physics exactly the same way, it goes down in here. What? Oh, crap, I didn't save before I put entities. Well, I guess I gotta build that again once I figure out what the frickin' issue is. I mean, I've commented all this stuff out. So, okay, the idea with an object is an object. Well, the most basic fundamental part of an object is just a collection of variables and code that is kind of made to be put, or that can be more easily passed around and used. A kind of analogy that teacher I had, or professor I had when I took the object-oriented programming course, was that it's kind of like an object is kind of like a monkey in a tree. The monkey has all the stuff in the tree. It has a bunch of stuff it can do, but it can't see outside the tree. It can get stuff in from outside the tree, do stuff with that, and then throw it back, but it has basically no knowledge of anything outside. Another way you can think of... oh yeah, but that's basically it. And the most basic part of a class is, well, it's a object or a data structure that, you know, holds stuff and can do stuff with that other stuff. I know these are very abstract terms. What was I looking for here? I think I was trying to figure out the entity colliding stuff. What did I do wrong for the entities to collide like that? Entity collide. It's also not moving in or out at all, which I'm a little confused about. Entity collide object. Well, yeah, no, everything should be calling the correct classes here. And correct functions based off what it's been given. So why is Why is the entities not colliding with the same stuff as the player? This is just detecting if it's in the ground. Did I look at gravity, I guess? Did I... Okay, I guess the thing is, did I forget to check for a 3D hitbox instead of a 2D hitbox? Because I'm guessing that's probably what's going on somewhere. Unless it is just using the 2D collision algorithm the entire time and is not for some reason using 3D. Let's see what causes it to check for 2D, 3D. Car can have attributes like brand, motor, power, etc., and have functions like accelerate, stop, etc. The only thing I don't understand too much is the methods. It's fine. That makes sense. So it is only using 2D collision. That's gonna be a complex. That's gonna be complex to implement. But so the methods are effectively the implementations of what the car does. That's basically the functions that exist inside of an object. That is what methods are effectively. There's the more advanced stuff of where you could consider it's the specific way that this version of that object does its stuff, but that's once you get into like later object-oriented stuff. Where am I at? Simple entity. Simple entity does in 3D. Yeah, in 3D is just false. Okay, there's the problem. How do I fix this? Because you don't get any inputs here. You just need to know. It's fine. I don't think I'm being too distracted with this. I'm trying to think now, but why? How would I get the information for whether or not to say it's in 3D or not? Because whether or not a specific entity can have itself in 3D, or whether or not a specific entity is in 3D. I do want it to be entities to be able to just prevent themselves from using 3D physics if possible, but I also probably want to have an inclination of whether the player is currently in 3D mode. Because that's kind of important. So I'll have to go all the way into the entity class then. It's going to be at the top here. And for in 3D, it will take a Boolean player in 3D, which is completely P-L-A-Y-E-R. This is mostly because I don't want to have to import into every single entity I make the actual instance of the game class itself. Yeah, but this means I'll have to go over to simple entity. Return player in 3D. And also the player itself, as the player is an entity, obviously. Good chunk of this is I want to make this stuff as modular as possible so that I can, as painlessly as possible, create various new entities. Probably still mostly just copy-pasting what exists though, but having to as little elsewhere as possible will definitely help. Let's see, in 3D. Probably down towards, yeah, in 3D. Just return that, just put that in there. That's not going to really matter all that much because obviously this is where the source is. So now we go to level collisions. So into this, we send what we're going to take from this. What we take from the rendering portion of the code. And that's whether or not the player is in 3D. I probably should have called it rendering 3D. But anyhow. Now, it should... frick. Double return. That's not good. Wow, I've already been live for an hour and have accomplished basically nothing. Okay, I've got a little bit of restructuring done, but I want to move a bit faster. Oh, logic, I of course didn't save anything, so let's do that. Oh well, actually gotta go here. Gonna now select this. So, once again, build out a platform that is reasonably large for the entities to hop around in. You see, this sort of stuff, these bugs, this is why we test. And why I probably shouldn't just assume that I've done stuff right. Because you do find bugs. Like, actually, going back to me talking about the programming competition, there was a bunch of bugs in the that ended up existing in the code that caused it to fail in various situations. Interestingly, there was sections where I was heavily using recursion to calculate some stuff, and none of those sections ended up actually having any issues. Those all worked completely correctly every time with no issues. It was a lot of other situations we were having issues, like just like a section where we were just trying to statically move or change a value by 1 in the correct direction caused me actually a fair bit of issues when it wasn't working. So that was a fun thing for me to experience. Also, other things where it just wasn't doing the correct things that we expected to be doing because oversights. Oh, and then there was one issue where we were just swapping like X and Y on the inputs or in other places, so the resultant values just would not have actually worked regardless of what the actual, whether or not the algorithm was operating correctly. Alright, we have a box. I'm going to build a platform that leads up to the box. Alright, let's test it. Okay, that's good. Okay, box that I can stand on. I probably should have made it much longer so I can actually see what's going on in there a little bit better. Alright, I'm now going to save the level so I don't have to build this crap again and again and again. Go into 2D, pause, spawn a box, spawn an entity, and play. Ooh. It almost jumped out. Oh yeah, I guess it has the same jump height as the player. So if the player can jump over this, it could theoretically also jump, but its inputs are literally random, so it's not likely that that's going to happen. Oh, I can see even less now. Yeah, that's something that I'm actually stuck in here. Okay, it can't get out. Yay, or no, or whatever. That's something that I'm gotta actually implement, is the camera zooming in so that you can be on the other side of this wall if the player's behind it. Let's see. Well, in concept, recursion is actually quite simple. You're just calling yourself. You're basically just a function that's calling itself over and over again in an attempt to break down a task in an easier way to do it. The issue with recursion typically is, because obviously you have two important parts of recursion. You have the recursive step where you call the function again, and then you have the stopping condition where it stops calling itself again. The issue is usually that you somehow don't write the stopping condition correctly, so it keeps calling itself, and then you have a lot of issues there. I somehow didn't run into that all that much yesterday when I was doing stuff, which is great. I did all the recursive stuff correctly, that means. But yeah, can in fact be quite challenging to do recursion, but it can also be basically the only way that you can calculate stuff. I mean, obviously the most common examples that are very simple of recursion is like calculating Fibonacci's numbers or the Fibonacci sequence or a factorial, both of which can technically be done with loops though. Especially factorial, that one can actually really easily be done in a loop. But theoretically, if you're using loops and like arrays correctly, it would probably be fine. But yeah, recursion, it can be, it's simple concept, but you know, difficult stuff to master. I somehow mastered it with all my stuff, yet had issues literally everywhere else, or it seems like everywhere else. But yeah, what am I? Okay, I'm satisfied that entities in 3D works correctly now. All right. Now to all the other stuff the entity has to be able to do. So first up, let's go. Let's go. Where is the stage entity? Simple entity. Stage entity. So public direct. Actually. Yes, simple concept, but difficult to apply without issue. That's a very good explanation of that. Okay, now actually I'm thinking here. So how do I want to implement this thing? So I'm gonna need a way to check if the entity is dead or not. And I could just have the stage entity automatically have that stuff. But I'm thinking what I probably want to do instead is I'm going to create an interface called killable. INTER face. And this is going to have or it is dead. And so, okay, it's gonna have three methods: kill, is dead, and respawn. Public. All right, and because this is an interface, all this stuff will have to be implemented by whatever classes effectively have to implement it. But what I can then do, I can then go over to stage entity and have this IMPL implements killable. And then I don't have to do anything here, but all stage entities will therefore also be killable and have to implement all the killable methods. I should also probably apply this to the player themselves, because that's how the player, I mean, whether or not the player actually implements these properly, it's obviously up to the player's class, which I guess is also controlled by me. But for now, I'm just applying this here. Well, actually, I will apply it to the player. That way, that simplifies the logic in the physics for killing an entity. Theoretically, it could be possible to have entities that are, say, visual display entities in the future. Don't know how necessarily that's going to work, but it'll be possible to have though different types of entities in the future that cannot technically be killed in the normal way. But for now, entities that are normal stage entities will have to be killed. I'm surprised that this is not yelling at me that... Yeah, there's the yellow. I'm surprised it's not... Okay, it's yelling at me over here on the sidebar, but it's not yelling at me here. Weird. So we'll create a Boolean value in here. dead. Set it equal to false. So we're going to say public void kill, public boolean is DEA is dead, and public void, what was the last one called? Actually, this would probably say here, right? Okay. Well, I'll just go back to killable here. Respawn, that's it. All three of these methods do very simple things, but they're part of an interface, so it can be easily modularized in the future. Oh, that is not... How do I keep going to the wrong places here? I want simple entity, which is so far just existing as my in-game test case. Dang it, that's not the right thing. Simple entity. Thank you. Void respawn. Return DEA. Turn dead. Dead equals true. And respawn is going to be dead equals false. And we're going to have to run these three here, but with the spawn x, spawn y, spawn z methods. Spawn x, spawn y. And this is also, respawn is also going to be convenient, as a stage will be able to just call respawn when a condition is met. Basically when it's loaded, or when pseudo load is called, it'll be able to call the respawn method and reset everything back to its correct place. Also, kill doesn't technically have to do dead. Kill can also technically reduce its or reduce the health of the entity, if it has health per se. And if it gone out of bounds of the world, it could just respawn it back up to the top if it wants that. That's the modularity aspect of this. I'm going to now implement this stuff in the physics here. There are two places that we have to be aware of. The place where it kills the entity when we go below Y720, which is where? Jumping... Okay. Wait, no, that's not it. Movement stuff for the player. Where is this? Ah, here it is. Death check. Oh wait, this is the death plane. This is the other place where we have to do it. Okay, actually, I have to go to the bathroom right now, so I will be right back. Please wait for these brief, I don't know. Alright, I'm back. Alright. Alright, well, where does the player get killed then? Oh, wait, I know where the player gets killed. The general player death moment is not an entity physics. It's somewhere else. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. So I won't apply this entirely to the player. I guess I'll just stick this at the end of the physics calculations here. Jumping, beep, 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 beep. If, and I don't think processing has all the Java 17 features properly implemented yet, or with the syntax checker, which is annoying. I'll try this though. If entity instance of, I absolutely did INSTANS of. Come on, it's right up there. INSTANCEOF. There we go. This isn't a new game. This is the same game that I've been working on for the past almost 4 years now. Just doing more cool stuff with it and stuff. Stuff. Instance of killable. ABLE. Just gonna check. Does it allow this syntax here? Because this is technically valid Java 17 syntax, but no. It'll complain at this part for some reason. Incomplete statement or code near K. Yeah, this is just processing syntax checker for more verbose error message. This is legal Java 17 code. It just doesn't allow it. So killable K equals the casting the entity to killable. Alright, so if entity dot get y is greater than 720, then k dot kill. Simple as that. Yeah, simple as this. But we also will have to do something like this at the beginning, because we obviously don't want to be calculating physics on a dead entity, because that would be a waste of computing resources. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to go up. All the way up. Up here, right under the movement manager calculations. I'm gonna check if it's an instance of a killable, and I think this could probably go back a little bit. And then if k dot is dead, you will simply return here. No physics on a dead entity. If the entity is dead, then do not. And then, of course, what is it? Okay, so then, of course, the it'll be up to other external forces to respawn these entities, but that is a majority of the functions for killable implemented. Let's just go check that it works properly. Currently, it'll still render a dead entity. I will probably have to go in and prevent that from happening, but I got other things that I want to accomplish for now, I think. Like being able to delete the current, well, deleting them is mostly just a entity by entity thing. Well, actually no. For deleting the entity, I gotta go through and make it programmatic how it does it. That's right. Yeah, no, I do have work to do on entity deletions. Anyhow, just go to entities 2D here. Oh, right, I'll need to add a button in this window somewhere here. I don't know which one of these. Stage settings, maybe here, or level settings, or maybe I don't think tools is a good place for the respawn entities stuff. I'm definitely not selections. Selecting entities to set their properties may also be a thing in the future. I just okay, that I did not intend to do. All right, move the player here. Move the camera over here. Oh, cool. We do have an entity that exists here because I saved with an entity spawned in. Obviously, it's going to spawn, or it's going to, fly around here, do all the normal entity stuff. We'll move the player down here so that the camera's as low as it can possibly go. There it is. And we'll spawn an entity simply right there. I'm going to assume it's died as I have zero clue how else I'm going to check this. I don't see it there, probably because it went below 720. We will go into 3D though. That I will be able to easily check if the entity has died in 3D mode, of course. So we'll just spawn the entity here. Oh, I can't really move the player. So we'll just go into 3D. I'll be able to see it fall. There it is. And play. Or I no longer, oh god, I have to stop that. I no longer necessarily have confidence in this, but I will keep moving down here. Actually, I have a better idea. Okay, I'm looking completely down right now. Yeah, when you get lost in the sauce, it's kind of weird. What I will do here is I will spawn in, make a gigantic platform well in the void beneath where the kill point is to make sure that we eventually stop seeing that entity, or it'll start physicsing on it, in which case it did not work. Which would actually make sense, because actually, now that I think about it, I've only really done that in 2D. We'll see if I've implemented it for 3D yet. Let's make this effective. Ooh. Also, I just want to brag about this for now. I designed all these 3D controls and interactions myself. Literally nothing externally referenced or no official things that I've actually learned about this. I literally figured all this stuff out by myself. I don't even know what I would Google to look a bunch of this stuff up. So, yeah, all of this crap that it's 3D is completely done and figured out by me. However jank it may be, it's my 3D implementation. So, that's where it counts. Okay, come on. Okay. Yeah, it's not killing. I don't... I put that in... Right, I didn't put in the killing for 3D part. Right at the bottom here. Yeah, this is only done in 2D. Perhaps I should just... instead of doing that in just the 2D section, I'm going to move that down to the very bottom of physics here. End of 3D. If she can be killed and is below 720, kill it. Right. I guess this also... Oh, I guess I should also make this apply to death planes as well. That is the other one that I got to do, and I guess I'll do that. Because, yeah. Let's go to the logic stage here. Move the player tier. Actually, if I look in 3D mode... Oh, yeah, no, I'll just spawn the entity right here. Enter 3D mode. Oh, crap. See that it is actually on the bridge, but it'll probably fall off immediately. So, and there it goes. Oh, yep. Hey, it worked properly. It stopped moving. See, the game is still very much alive. It is just at the point where it dies, so it is staying there and not moving anymore for now. Good, good, good. Actually, you know what? I'll leave it to an entity whether or not it wants to stop rendering after death. Because they do store their death state. That's obviously how it happens. So we'll just leave that up to actually the entity to see why, or to whether or not it will render itself after death. I do have to, though, go implement death plane stuff, so I will go self-player. I don't remember where the death plane logic is. Isn't it, like, attached to gravity here, actually? No, I don't remember if I actually put that code in 3D. I know it's in 2D, because we don't currently have 3D death planes. Ah, death check. Here we are. Oh, okay. Entity instance of player or entity instance of killable. No, actually, I will still need this if entity is a killable entity. So one part of this is detecting the death of a player. The other part of it is detecting the death of a killable. We k.kill, and that should theoretically be that. Okay, that is entities being able to die. Now, and deleting the entity is certainly, I think, what I need to do. It's a little challenge because, fun fact, 30, yeah, the way I've previously done deletion stuff is I've done it based off the old collision system, because that's what I've had. Oh, the entities don't have anything from the old collision system because they've been built after the new collision system was implemented specifically so we could kill, or we could do entity stuff without a significant performance hit, and also make them, or also for proper physics, because in the future, potentially the update after the one that's coming hopefully in May, I'm gonna try to implement, I think, don't hold me to this though, I'm gonna try to implement pieces of ground that can be rotated to almost any angle. And, yeah, that'll be a fun experience. To be able to just rotate a piece of ground 180 degrees, or maybe have off-axis stuff. That'll be fun. And also 3D slopes was another reason why I did this, because this collision algorithm takes a lot of this stuff out. Anyhow, I think I was going to stage editor. I don't exactly remember where the deleter... where all the stuff we're deleting is. I think for 2D it's up here, I want to say. Drawing ground. Hologram, death plane. Coins. Oh, delete, here it is. Deleting and delete. If attempting to delete something. Alright. This is a 2D deleting. Okay. So if it didn't collide with anything is the first part here. then do nothing. Yes, I have made basically the entire game engine here from scratch. Now, the thing is, sometimes what is considered a game engine can be a little bit fluctuating. Like, generally a lot of the graphics rendering stuff is considered part of the game engine. In which case, it's not. I didn't entirely make it from scratch, as I've made it in processing, which handles basically all the rendering stuff and OpenGL calls and stuff and shaders for me. I've tried writing my own shaders for processing, and I have no clue what I'm doing. But the rest of it, all the actual what to render and how things interact, has been basically entirely by me, just built on top of what processing provides, which is basically just rendering and inputs. Just for keyboard and mouse. I have done stuff with controllers, but not on this, because that's kind of a pain to handle multiple input systems at once. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a Collider 2D. C2D. Going to be equal to, and I'm going to need to go check Collider 2D for this method call. Create rectangular hitbox, so I don't have to specify all the vertexes myself. Equal to this. So we're going to say oh yeah, I do have to adjust for this. Minus 0.5. We're just gonna subtract 0.5 for this and have a 1x1 hitbox. The fuck was that sound? That sounded weird. Probably didn't come through on camera or on the thing at all, because it was a pretty low, quiet-ish sound. Are there fireworks going on outside? Hold up, I'm gonna see if there are fireworks going on outside, and then I'll be right back, hopefully. Did not see anything. So, no idea. No idea. Why is this? Oh, is it because it wants that to be a float? Also didn't subtract 0.5f? Maybe? I am confused. Why is this complaining about... Oh, right. There's an extra parameter here. There we go. Alright, so that's its 2D hitbox. And then we're going to check for entities. So for int I equals 0, I is less than current dot entits dot size I plus plus. There's a lot of sound from outside right now. So blah blah blah. Then we'll say if current.entities.get I dot, let me go look at the hitbox for the collider or the entity class. Entity get hitbox 2D. stage editor, get hitbox 2D with an offset of 0, 0. Ah, crap, it's the collision detection class is what I think I'm, because all that actually doing the collision detection is right down here. Collision detection dot collide 2D. Yes, and then we just pass in both hitboxes. So we go stage editor. So that's one hitbox. So we go that, comma, C2D. So if, check for with keys. So we're going to check this for collision. So if it does, then we're going to why is this current interactables? Oh, if it's right. No. So then we go just current entities remove I. Simple I, and then we break because we only want to delete one thing at all. And then that should theoretically allow us to, at least in 2D, delete entities. And I will copy all of this just in case that becomes necessary when we go into 3D, because I know sometimes code for 2 and 3D gets broken up and written twice because of how I've done things. Because yeah, in 3D mode here, we have a lot of similar drawing code to 2D mode. Yeah, and then here's the deletion code again. All right, so we are once again asking to do this thing. But there is another way, obviously, we can delete things in 3D, and that is obviously in 3D mode, not just 2D mode. And that is actually significantly different. Because that's 3D mode off there. If 3D is on, stuff gets weird. We have raycasts and stuff involved, and a lot of math. 3D transformation modes. All that good stuff. All that complicated stuff that I don't want to relive right now. Where is deleting stuff in 3D? I actually do not remember. Definitely possible, definitely somewhere, it's just not here. GUI mouse clicked. Ah, here we go. Here is the 3-dimensional version of delete. So okay, this is basically here. All right, this loops for 5,000, so you have a range of 5,000 units when you're doing a deletion in 3D mode. But we're going to go do an else there, because we're going to need make a 3D, the 3D version of this. So I'm gonna go grab this, go back to stage editor. So collider 3D C3D is equal to create a box shaped hitbox around test point XYZ minus 0.5. And then 1 in each of those axes. And then we're going to, similarly to before, we're going to go for int I equals 0, I is less than Is it still called current? Yeah. Current dot. I'm gonna loop through all the entities and then say if, and then we're just gonna go collision detection here. Collision detection, collide 3D this time with current entities get I dot should be get hitbox 40 hitboxes, guys. I don't even know what the hell that would look like. Comma, and then C3D is the other option. So if that collision happens, we are going to break there. Oh, and we should also. Oh, right. That's a reused variable there. We're just gonna have to use J for everything. Oh. Oh wait, it's a method, not a variable. Well, this is way at the end here for deleting. So at this place, we're just gonna return if we delete something. And then current entities. Remove or J. There we go. Alright. That should allow for entities to be deleted in both 2 and 3 dimensions. Hopefully correctly, and I'm not going to test it right now because I don't feel like it. Which is a real recipe for disaster, but I don't see why it wouldn't work correctly. Okay, what else do I need to do for entities? As a boilerplate thing. So, got basically everything I needed going with that. Most of the other things, I guess, would be more entity-specific behaviors, which is good. Yeah, so let's see. I'm going to recap what we did. So we got the saving and loading of entities done. We got the 3D physics, making sure those are interacting correctly. We got the killable stuff. We got the stage entity stuff done with the entity registry, which is hopefully how all stage component parts are going to be registered, and even logic components are going to be registered in the future, is doing that. That way it vastly simplifies the code for, well, at least to a human, simplifies the code for actually saving or loading an entity. These are the methods that all stage entities are required to implement: everything in entity, everything in killable, and of course these two lovely chaps right here. The simple entity is obviously just a simple test article for me. I need to do stuff with the level creator portion of the game where we have to have a button somewhere to respawn the entity. I guess, well, okay, step 1. Where do I place the respawn button? That's thing. And then actually doing the respawn should be pretty simple. Level creator, load up a level. Load up a stage so that we can actually see crap. This one will do. So not on this, like, it's probably going to be level settings, I guess, where I could put a respawn entities button here. Like, I know variables groups has this in it, but this is logic related, this entire tab. So that's why that makes sense. I guess here in entity or in level settings is where I could have respawn entities. So we'll go over to the toolbox window, which is a mess because of reasons. Other respawn situations, right? Respawn entities button. I don't know which page it's going on yet. Or actually, no. I think we decided level settings, which Not here. Not here. This looks like multiplayer stuff, but this is the actually I'm gonna comment this stuff so quickly. Level settings, screen buttons, variables and groups buttons, logic editor tools, tools, and stage editing tools, all page buttons. All right, that should safely describe what all of these doing. So this is going to be a new button. We're going to pass in this object. By the looks of things, I'm going to want this to be at 160. We have a difference of about 50 between each button, so that's going to be 340. 30. Everything here. Oh, well, those are all. The buttons up top. 80, 30. And it's going to be respawn entities, and then the colors are going to have to be 255, 100, and I'm not going to even bother putting any hover text on there because I'm now going to just scroll down and find the page that I have to put all this stuff on. Further, still level settings. Here we go. And this is simply going to have to go. What is this inside of? Oh, level equals no. Yeah. That. Simply draw this button, but of course the actual implementation of this has to be somewhere else entirely, because that's how my system works. Again, designed this entire system myself, so this isn't how it's generally done literally everywhere else, but this is the best way I found to do it in processing at the time when I was making all this stuff. And to be fair, it still does kind of make sense. Gives you the most potential control in your applications over what these things do. Which I think is a good thing. It may make it a little bit more annoying to do stuff, like a button doesn't have one defined behavior, but that's cool because you can, based off of when the button's being rendered, define it as different behaviors. You can use one button as a back button at the same place on multiple screens, but each screen has a completely different function that isn't saved directly to the button. Gotta go way down. Not that far down. Okay, here we go. Stage or okay. If simply if we're doing that, okay, it's 9 p.m. so I'm gonna end the stream here very soon. But so if that, we're gonna just say level dot spawn spawn entities. I think that's entities. Whatever. Anyhow, and then we're gonna need to make this a method in level now, and also therefore it's gonna need to cascade down to all the stages. But so what we're going to need to do then is go for stage S in stages, I want to say. That's what the variable's called, right? Yep. So go s.respawn enta, which is of course not a thing, but before, well, it's going to be called, yeah, the command Okay, the function's exactly the same. I just need to find get hash. Where's the sudo load method? Reload. There's a reload coins there. Sudo load. Here it is. The last thing on sudo load here is respawn entities. So we're then going to go to stage, which is down here. Void respawn entities. Just gonna go for stage entity se in spawn. Simple as that. And nothing worked correctly. Cannot find class as stage entity. What is it actually called then? What did I do wrong there? Ooh, extended a bit. Whatever. Okay, cool. That is that. And yeah, I guess then that is the end of the stream because that worked. And I can't be but well, okay, we'll go test it quickly, I guess. Just make sure that stuff works so that I can be sure of things. All right, move that up there. All this should simply do is return that entity to itself. So, wow, that is small text. I'm considering enlarging that. I should also do other things. But anyhow, I click it. It moves back. Great. All right. So that's going to be the end of the stream. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to check out the current version of this game, you can find it linked in the description. Also, please make sure to leave a like on the stream on your way out and subscribe, turn on notifications so that you will be notified of future streams like this one. And I will see you all in the next one.